Hey guys, it is really hot here in Seattle. I believe this is the first video that I've ever shot with a sleeveless shirt, so if my shoulders and arms look like a completely different color from my face, that is because I almost never wear sleeveless tops. Enjoy the view. So a couple days ago, I uploaded a video on my Curious.com page, how to get started on the piccolo. But since I was running around for like 2 months, I didn't have much time to practice, so I had to warm up again on the piccolo before I shot that video. And I rediscovered that my piccolo kind of sucks. I don't know, I guess I was trying piccolos at festivals and stuff like that, and I kind of forgot how crappy my piccolo is. It's not because the actual instrument is crappy, but it's more that I'm a little bit too lazy to go to the repair shop. I really can't be the only one. Come on, let's face it, we're musicians. We're poor. So either you have no money to go and get a new instrument, like me, I'm still saving up to get a better piccolo, or you have absolutely no time to go to the repair shop because, again, being a musician, you have no time to do anything besides doing your music thing. Do you see how this is all interlocked together? You have no money, you have no time, you have to make time, but you're too lazy, and you're also too poor. It's an endless cycle of terrible. So I've had this crappy piccolo for a very long time, and it's just been getting crappier and crappier. However, I've noticed that my friends don't necessarily know how crappy my instrument is because I have found ways to get around it. So I thought I'd share those tips with you guys today. First off, figure out the quirks of your instrument. For mine, I've noticed that around D, E flat, F, F sharp, G in the middle range tends to crack a lot. It also sounds really muffled. I'm not sure if it's because of a leak in the instrument or something like that, but again, too lazy to go to the repair shop. Also on the piccolo, generally speaking, the piccolo is out of tune all the time with people. Great way is to get a tuner and play each note on your instrument to see what the tendencies are. Then you will know which notes you tend to go really sharp or really flat on, so you can figure out exactly how much you need to adjust to be in tune. Also figure out what is mechanically crappy about your instrument. For example, leaky keys or wiggly keys. I actually have a key that tends to wiggle. I know that sounds really terrible, but hey, I cannot be the only one playing an instrument with a wiggly key and not having time to go to the repair shop to get it fixed all the time because it goes wiggly all the time. It always comes out of adjustment. You want to play around with it. You want to see, do you need to squeeze a little tighter? Do you need to not squeeze a little tighter? Do you need to press it at a certain angle or something like that? I know this sounds like really terrible advice, but hey, we gotta live, right? The second tip I have to give you guys is after you have figured out the quirks of your instrument, don't be afraid to experiment. Now, because we're dealing with your personal crappy instrument, you have to figure out what personally works for you. I can't give you concrete advice here, but I have a few pointers in terms of experimenting. Make sure you only conduct one experiment per day, because I can guarantee you, if you try to experiment too much in a day, you are going to feel like your life is crap, not just that your instrument is crap. If you do too many experiments, your focus is going to be completely scattered and you're not going to get anything done. Also, don't be too hard on yourself if an experiment goes wrong. This is very typical of many musicians when they practice. They try to get something right within one sitting, and sometimes that is just not what happens. There actually has been a scientific research done saying that if you sleep well between practice sessions or study sessions, your brain actually processes the information while you're sleeping. So you may find that the next day that you try to tackle the experiment again, you're gonna get it right suddenly. Keep chugging along every day, experiment on it every day until you get it right. The last tip in terms of experimenting is kind of creepy. You want to watch your friends. In ensemble, in band, in orchestra, or in a lesson watching your teacher. You want to look at the details of how your friends play. What they do with their mouth, what they do with their fingers. Gosh, this is sounding dirtier by the moment. How they breathe, stuff like that. That'll give you sort of like a palette of ideas to draw from in terms of how to experiment with your own crappy instrument. I did that a lot. My friends who are watching this video will now know that I have been creeping on them on every single rehearsal just to see how they play the flute and the piccolo. Yes, it is very creepy. I'm sorry for being so creepy, but I've learned a lot from you guys. Now, the third big tip I have to give for you guys is target practice. Once you've found the solution to your quirk of your crappy instrument, you want to use scales or exercises or etudes or whatever piece you're working on, solo or in ensemble. Play through that piece, noting where those quirks happen, and you want to make sure that you hit your solution every single time you come across that quirk. So basically, it's like moving target practice, if this makes any sense. The second thing you want to do with target practice is use what I like to call the 10 bullseye in a row trick. This is a really annoying practice tip actually. Take a phrase with those quirks from one of your pieces in ensemble or solo repertoire, play through it 10 times in a row, hitting your solution bullseye right on the dot every single time, 10 times in a row. I don't know if I said 10 times in a row twice, but if I said it twice, it means I really mean it. Now again, don't be too hard on yourself. Most people can't do this in one day. Use this as a practice method and do it every day until you get that quirk right. So if the first time you do it, you get 5 times out of 10 right, that's pretty good. What you want to do is the day after get 6 times out of 10 right, the day after that get 7 out of 10 times right, the day after that get 8, 9, 10. You get the point. So this way you can actually train yourself up to hit the bullseye every single time. The last little tip I have to give for you guys in terms of target practice is to mindfully hit the solution every single time you come across it. The best way to do this is to do it when you're under pressure. So when you're in a lesson, when you're in rehearsal, even during a jury or an examination or something like that. This way your focus is actually at a higher intensity than when you're just in the practice room. And if you do this enough times when you're under pressure, your body is going to get used to it much more quickly. So I've actually used this little trick during all my lessons, during all my ensemble rehearsals, and I have personally found that those are the quickest ways to get used to the quirks of my piccolo. So I hope those tips helped you guys and that your friends will now think that your instrument is not as crappy as it really is. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends who you know have crappy instruments. Subscribe to catch my new videos and click over there for my last video. Follow me on my social networks down there to get updates on when I upload a flute tutorial on my Curious.com page, and also random weird things like a Beethoven lavatory mist. But anyway, that is it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I hope I can film this quickly enough because I have to teach a lesson in like 25 minutes. What am I? What am I? I have enough time. Good. I just made it in time.